Hey guys, DPG here. This is going to be interesting because I've never really done any videos in the snow, so I suspect, as I think I'm already seeing, snowflakes are accumulating on the lens. But what the hell, you know? Um, this is really what I'm all about, is not knowing how things will turn out, thinking it might be a good idea, so give it a try. Just a sec, I gotta put my glove on. It's cold out. So, I think I've got some really good videos coming up because I have actually been very busy myself, taking my own advice largely. In fact, a lot of times I don't know what to do, and then I just go, listen to yourself. All you do all day is give advice to people, tell them what to do, and then when you're faced with a dilemma, you ask, oh, what should I do? So this is really going to be an excellent entree into the world of entertainment, how to get into the world of entertainment at whatever level you're capable of. And you'll find out what level you're capable of by sticking your neck out and saying what you can do, having people say, oh, okay, that sounds pretty good. I might be interested in that. Then maybe they try you out on some kind of trial basis or a free basis. You know, you really just got to get your foot in the door. And if you really try hard and you don't act like you can do a bunch of stuff that you know you can't do, then you'll probably do okay, and you'll develop really solid relationships in the business. And once you have those relationships, they can go anywhere you want. So let me tell you a little bit about what I've been doing. I'm not going to name any names because, well, frankly, it's irrelevant. Even the industry is irrelevant because everything's the same. But I know you guys are into the entertainment business, so I think you're going to really enjoy this. Look both ways when you cross the street. So I may have started to tell this story before, but if you haven't seen all the videos, this is step one to make your imprint, your impact in the entertainment business. And I know a lot of you want to be actors, okay? Don't worry. This is all completely applicable to anybody who wants to, frankly, do anything. Whether you want to be an actor or not, you can still follow this same path. So I'm at a party, and you can all go to parties, right? So don't go, oh, well, you had an advantage. I'm just at a party, and this woman is talking to my friends, and she seems kind of interested in their lifestyle, which frankly is not that interesting to me, but she's interested in it. So, you know, there you go. There's no accounting for taste. And, you know, as it turns out, she produces reality shows. And as it turns out more, none of this I knew at the time, she's been in the business for maybe 23 years, worked for many of the big brands. And, you know, she's just going on and on about my friends and how they should do a show, etc., etc. And I have been coaching people, and I had a client who really had nothing to do with acting, but they found me and read an article of mine on backstage.com that they found interesting. So I had this client who's really a unique individual who we decided, I don't know, maybe you should do a reality show. And honestly, I had no idea how to do a reality show, but I had started the process of approaching reality show producers rather unsuccessfully because I really didn't know how to approach them exactly, but I just felt that there was a really unique opportunity, a unique property here. And so I started approaching people, and not much happened. But I'm at this party, and this woman starts talking about putting these people on a reality show. And I'm sitting there going, these people are so boring. I don't want to watch a reality show about my friends. And so all I got was her first name. So every single thing I'm going to tell you here has so much gold in it. So you got to listen. Like, you know, nothing was handed to me, but I didn't care. I just felt like I have a shot here, and I felt like I had something. I felt it was good. I could be completely wrong, but what have I got to lose, right? I don't even know this person. So all I knew was her first name. So I did some Google searching, and I kind of got an idea of what I knew she was in reality production. I even said to her, "So what do you do? Are you a reality producer, a reality show producer?" And she goes, "Yeah, I guess you could call me that." And she almost seemed embarrassed by it. Like that's not really what she wanted to be called, but not knowing anything else, I just kind of went with it. And I thought, reality show producer, interesting. So I looked her up the next day because I didn't have the guts to approach her or ask her information that night because I'm really shy. And I especially didn't want to ask her info in front of all of my friends. And so anyway, I looked her up, I Googled her, and I found what I thought was her contact info. And as it turns out, she's the CEO of a media company. I'm like, oh boy. So anyway, there was an email there because one thing you may not realize, but if you've got a good piece of content is king. I mean, they are always looking for good content. Even though you may think they're not, they are. And I felt like I had something here. I knew this person was unique. I had no idea what that was going to mean to her. But I sent her an email and I said, "Hey, I met you at the party. Loved hearing your stories," or whatever. And I even mentioned my client at the party, and she kind of went, "Oh yeah, he seems really interested." Like not interested at all. And because she was so focused on my friends, which is more the whole salacious Kardashian type of lifestyle, aspirational stuff, I guess is what they call it. Anyway, I said, I think I'd like to tell you more about this person. And it was crickets for a week, okay? I didn't hear anything back. And I can't remember if it was a week later I wrote her or she finally wrote me, because I always follow up, okay? That's my cardinal rule. Number one is I call it FU until you hear FU, which is follow up until they go tell you to fuck yourself. Okay? It's a great policy because what have you got to lose, right? And if you don't follow up, what do you think? Like it's they don't know what you have to offer, so you have to be the one to let them know you're interested and at least try and get a chance to tell them about it. And if you tell them about it and they hate it, that's fine. And if you don't get to tell them about it because you keep following up and you never hear back, that's fine too, right? I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But I believe I followed up. I just said, "Hey, I didn't know if you got my email or not," which a lot of people can see through that. But at the same time, what are they going to do about it, right? Yeah, I got your email. I didn't respond, but I guess I'll respond to you because I know you're friends, right? So I kind of had her over a barrel a bit. She kind of felt like she didn't have a choice, I suppose. Otherwise, she would look like an ass to my friends, which I'm sure she wouldn't, and I'm sure they wouldn't have cared anyway. But anyway, so she responds. She goes, "Yeah, so sorry it took me so long to respond. Yeah, why don't we come in for a meeting or something like that?" So I went and met her and sort of told her about this person, and she's like, "Well, great, but what about it?" And I don't know if it was that day or another day, but she decided, hey, I said, "You know what, why don't we talk to him? Why don't we have a call with him?" So we put him on Skype. We spoke to him. She asked him a bunch of questions, and she really liked what she heard. And she's like, we were rattling ideas back and forth. What is the show? What is the show? Because you need to know what the show is. It's not just a person and you follow them around and hope something happens. You can do that with people like maybe the Kardashians who are already hugely famous. But I think, as I recall, one of their shows, if not their first show, really just started taking place in their house, right? Because they were always gathering there, and so they would just shoot inside the house. They wouldn't follow them around, which is, more what they do now. They'll just follow them anywhere because they're making so much money off them. But anyway, she called him. We threw the right ideas around, and we came to this like aha moment, and she went nuts. She loved it. And all of a sudden, I had her. And now she's like, who is this guy? Like, what am I going to do with David Patrick Green? I don't know anything about him. He's an actor. Okay. He knows my friends. And actually, she was trying to pitch my friends, who are her friends, but I don't think they're her friends that much. She was trying to pitch them on being in a show. And so, we're worlds apart in terms of ideas, but all of a sudden I've got her. She's loving this whole idea. And so now she's like, oh, well, how are we going to, what are we going to do now? And she's like, what am I going to do with you? And so she asks me to write what they call a pitch deck. I am just getting pelted in the face with snow. I should probably be walking the other way so snow doesn't go in my eyes. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn around, and yeah, that's a lot better. I can actually open my eyes now. But so she says, okay, well, can you write a pitch deck? I'm like, what's a pitch deck? And it's basically a slide deck, which is, PowerPoint, for those of you who don't know. And I said, I'll give it a shot, because I can write okay. I've written a lot of stuff over the years, and once I get going, I can be pretty creative. And hey, I created an entire category of product in Hack Hollywood, actually going against the grain. And so I said, sure. And I said, do you have any examples of other shows? So she said, yeah, I can send you an example. So she sent me a couple of examples of other pitch decks from other shows that I thought were, for the most part, pretty dumb. Because frankly, that's what I think of most reality shows. I think they're pretty dumb. I'm like, why would anyone watch this? Here I am trying to pitch a reality show, LOL. And so I put something together, and I didn't really know where her mind was at, right? We had no deal. There was no money changing hands or anything like that. And take note of all this. Like, this is what you do, right? This is how you get yourself in there. You kind of weasel your way in without any money changing hands, until then they can't live without you. And that's when you can collect the dineros. So, and trust me, this does not take a lot of weaseling, okay? Like, I say the word weaseling because it seems kind of tricky, like I snuck my way in there, but really all I did was help her. And she was testing me, and that's what I realized. She was like, okay, do this. Because she's still not sure what she's going to do with me, even though we've got this great idea. She's like, what am I going to do with this guy? Right? Like, I don't want to give him a job. He doesn't know what he's doing. They call me a civilian, right? Because I'm not from the industry, even though I've acted in like about 30 TV shows and movies. But to her, I'm a civilian because I'm not a producer or a director or one of the people that has their actual name on the budget. So she goes, yeah, do a deck. So I did a deck based on what she gave me and sent it back to her. And she's like, oh my God, this is fantastic. Right? She's like, I had to tell you, I was testing you to see what your capabilities were, and your instincts are amazing. And I'm like, okay, great, right? So I learned something about myself just by saying, yeah, okay, I'll try it. She could have said it's garbage. Could have happened, right? But you don't worry about that stuff. You just go, if I think I can do it, which I did, because I felt like I had a sense of what this was, and now I just have to, pull the lines out, right? Like, I knew what the concept was. We had discussed it. She was excited about it. So I just kind of had to put down on paper a clearer version of the conversation we had. So I sent her that, and she was like, very good. And then she's like, okay, that was good. Can you make some changes? Or can you make it into a 2-pager? And we had a couple of meetings where we actually sat down. Like, after I did the initial deck, we had another meeting. So this is the CEO of a company who has 18 shows in development right now. And she's sitting down for 2 hours with me, hashing out what this show should be, who it appeals to, what networks it's good for. And I'm just like throwing my 2 cents in, not knowing if anything I'm saying makes any sense. And you know, she's poo-pooing some of my ideas. She's like, no, that won't work. But she's not. She's actually maintains, you know, she stays cool. She doesn't go, that's stupid and dismissive. She's trying to get some nuggets out of me. And I guess I got some nuggets out. And so at that point, I think I'm going to end the video there. But that's when she actually specifically said to me, you know, I really like the idea, but I really had no idea how we can involve you, because what proof was there that you could do anything, you know, that's actually going to be helpful? And she's like, you did such a good job on this that I would actually like to see if you could work on some other projects, because you actually turned around material faster and better than some of the people that have been in this industry for a long time and who have been doing this type of thing for a long time. So she's like, can I give you another one to work on while I figure out what we're going to do with this show? And I said, yeah, okay. And then she says, okay, I'll have our CFO draw up a contract, and you know, I'll pay you this much per round of pitching, you know, of writing decks, and to a maximum of this, without, you know, beyond which we will have to discuss if we want any more rounds of changes. And I'm like, you're gonna pay me? Because I'm just trying to do this for my client, okay? And now my client, who is paying me to coach him and help develop this whole process, because all I knew is I knew more than him about trying to develop a reality show, because at least I worked in the entertainment business. But now I've got an actual CEO of a smaller media company, but with tons of experience, offering to pay me to work on shows I've never even heard of. And I'll just end it here. She sent me one more show, which was a detective-based drama based around another personality. This guy is a famous, or at least extremely experienced, homicide detective. And she sent me basically what they had, which wasn't a lot. So I did a little research and I wrote a 2-pager for him. And bam, she's like, yeah, perfect. But, you know, it's a different, I don't know, she wanted a different format or something. So round 2, did it again. Never heard from her again, but then later on, and that's the thing, you know, I learned this in acting. When they don't tell you anything, that's good. It means you did it right. They didn't have to tell you anything. They only direct you when they need something different, right? It doesn't mean you necessarily screwed up, but it means you did a good job, and they didn't feel like they needed to tell you anything. They had to dedicate their time to something more important, to somebody else who isn't giving them what they want. The lighting guy, the sound guy, the camera guy, whoever it is, okay? So when you don't hear back, yeah, it made me really insecure because I'm just starting this. And she just said, I'm going to pay you to do this. So I sent it to her and she doesn't respond. And I'm like, oh, this must be terrible. Anyway, I'm going to skip way ahead, but there will be more videos between here and then, but I'll skip way ahead. And she just was on a pitch tour, 14 days, or actually 10 days, all across the United States, pitching to network after network. And can't seem to escape the snow in my face. And she mentioned this other show that I had worked on the deck for. And she said, oh yeah. And I was pitching that show you were working on. And they loved it. And I said, oh, you never even told me how that deck was. And you know, she totally just blew it off. She goes, oh yeah, it was perfect. And so, like, this is what you got to wrap your head around, okay? The lesson of all this is how to get in, right? Well, how you get in is you basically round up your troops, who you are, what you have to offer. And when you have an opportunity, which you can absolutely create on your own, right? I was trying to create it on my own by calling up producers, and I hadn't really worked on it that long, but along came this, happenstance opportunity. So I took advantage and I contacted this person, and fortunately she decided to respond to me for whatever reason, and I went for that. I got the opportunity to present an idea to her that she liked. Again, this could be a fluke. I could have had to do this 10 times, but whatever, I would have done it 10 times if my client continued to engage me to do that. And so I engaged with this person. She responded. Then she tested me out. And listen, what you should also learn about this is that if somebody's kind of hesitant with you, then offer for them to test you. Say, well, let me do this and see how that goes. And if you like that, I can do more of it. Or whatever it is you think you can do for them, tell them, make the suggestion. If they don't, I was fortunate that this person saw something of value in me quite quickly, But trust me, I'm no genius, nothing particularly special, other than I'll give stuff a try. Hello, how are you? It's my seamstress. She does all my hemming and stuff. And so anyway, the moral of the story is stick your neck out, and also don't be insecure. Ask questions, make suggestions, because even the people who are at the top of the food chain don't have all the answers. They don't know everything. They don't have all the ideas. They just don't have enough time. A lot of these people take on way more than they can handle. They bite off more than they can chew. And in fact, I would say that's one of this particular lady's biggest problems, is she tries to do everything herself, but she has an enormous capacity to do stuff. She remembers every single thing we talk about. I can't remember anything. I have a mind like a sieve, so I actually record all my calls so that I can go back and play them over again. I record my meetings because I know I'm not going to remember stuff. She doesn't write anything down. She just remembers it all almost perfectly. But I record all of our meetings, and then I go home and I replay them, and I'm like, oh, okay, right. Oh yeah, forgot that. That's just what I have to do. That's what I've learned finally, after having wicked, horrible ADD my whole life. And ADD is a real thing. Just in one sentence, ADD is not having control over your mind. Meaning, it just goes off and starts thinking about things that you really didn't plan on thinking about, and then you miss a lot of stuff that is theoretically important in the moment, but your mind decides it's not important because it wants to go think about something else. It's almost like having a split personality. The one personality is like, oh, I'm going to listen to this person talk, and the other personality is like, I don't care what this person says. Look at that cat out there. What's it doing? And that's literally what ADD is not having control over what your mind thinks about. And so you're constantly trying to rope it back in, but by the time you even realize it's off on its own, you've missed a lot. Okay, so for those of you who have ADD or think you have it, those of you who have heard people complain about it and think it's BS, personally I was one of those people. But now I really understand what it is. It's just not having control. Your mind just goes off on its own, and you end up missing a lot of stuff. I'd say the difference, hopefully, the benefit of having ADD or having a mind like that is that it's got a lot of processing power. So when I finally get all the information I need after listening 10 times, and then I start to apply it, I generally become better at almost everything than everyone. But that's only if I have the chance to apply myself and because I want to. Okay? So whatever. It is what it is. But get people to test you out. once you've sort of broached, the pleasantries and they trust you a little bit, show them who you really are. You have to do that. You can't be an ass kisser, because the most important thing someone can learn about you is who you really are, because once they know who you are, then they know they can trust you, right? Like, because you're being authentic, you're being real. And the way I do that is I act like a jackass a lot of the time. I make stupid comments. I joke around. I don't care that she's the CEO. She'll say, oh, I love the Kardashians, and then I'll say something like, yeah, that's what makes me question our entire relationship, and she'll just laugh because she loves it. And people love it when you're true and authentic, and you can actually, critique someone and not kiss their ass. Because honestly, guys, for those of you who are scared of authority and all that, it's really boring to have someone always kissing your ass. It's just so boring and so uninteresting. Everybody sure likes a little compliment, like, you were so good in this, but then where's the conversation in that? Whereas if you say, oh yeah, I saw your movie, and there was this one scene, what were you thinking there? Was that like, were you having a Snickers bar moment or something? Because I don't know, you look like you were, and then they might go, oh my God, I know exactly the scene you're talking about. Or they might be insulted, who knows? I mean, maybe that's a poor example, but don't be an ass kisser. And don't be a bitch, okay? Don't be mean to people like, LA waitresses and people who are at the front desk and think, like you're mean to someone because you finally found someone who's below you on the food chain. No, treat everyone like gold and treat everyone the same. Because if you treat CEOs the same way you treat servers, you don't care. So that's what I do. I treat everybody the same. I don't care. Celebrity, whatever. Don't get all excited about people. Don't kiss their ass. And if you have something to offer them, then go ahead and offer it to them, okay? Because you'll get as far as you want with anyone that you want. And the people that aren't interested in you, whether they think they're better than you or they just don't feel a click or there's nothing there, great. Better that you find that out than, pine over it or wonder about it and go, oh, I wish I was connecting with so-and-so. Well, connect with them, and then if they don't like you or you don't like them, it doesn't work out, great, move on, find that other person. That could have easily happened with this situation. I'm very fortunate, so far it hasn't. There's lots more to tell about this story, and it's live and ongoing. So if you follow along, subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment, ask questions, make suggestions. What do you want to know about this? What do you want to know about the process? Tell me some things I should tell this person. What else should I offer them? How can I expand my relationship? It's so far so good. She's actually paid me at this point, which was always, I had that question in the back of my mind. Is she ever going to actually write a check? And she did. So yeah, it's so far very good, and I'm really excited to find out what's going to happen next, and I'm really excited to share what happens next with you guys. All right, that's it for now, and I will talk to you soon.